Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, corporations steal all their wages. Digital rights never expire, can't have fun anymore. Nickel and dime every time. What happened to enjoying the music of the past? Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, corporations steal all their wages. False flag operations, bots policing everything. Censorship is rampant, mute my audio, damn it. Why not work for free? We'll run ads, go climb a tree. Kids, you're getting nothing because physical media died. We killed it. Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, corporations steal all their wages. Like your spam, we love it. Creators ban, we'll do it. Switch that URL, now you're non-compliant. Pay us now or we'll riot. That's not a threat, we'll buy it. Metaphorical lyrics, we need you fix it, Felix. Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, corporations steal all their wages. Physical media is dead, every song in your head is branded. Computer breaks down, you're stranded. What's internet, granddad? Phone contract expired, now you're retired. Media isn't for remembering, it's all fast food slop. Never decays but still tastes like plop. You want quality, go make it yourself. Sorry, I already own the rights. Go play in your audio jungle, kid, it's over. Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, corporations steal all their wages. Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, corporations steal all their wages. Digital rights never expire, can't have fun anymore. Nickel and dime every time. What happened to enjoying the music of the past? The past. Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, corporations steal all their wages. Like your spam, we love it. Creators ban, we'll do it. Switch that URL, now you're non-compliant. Pay us now or we'll riot. That's not a threat, we'll buy it. Metaphorical lyrics, we need you fix it, Felix. Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, corporations steal all their wages. Why fight the machine, old guy? Buy our crap, then die. Can't hear your complaint over cash register sounds. Afraid your username is out of bounds. Email banned and URL traced, you've been erased. No more talk from retired geezers. We'll hoodwink the next generation like always. We own you and all your stuff. Mess with us and we'll sell you fake news. Manipulate you and curse you for trying. Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, all their wages. Digital rights never expire, can't have fun anymore. Nickel and dime every time. What happened to enjoying the music of the past? The past. Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, corporations steal all their wages. False flag operations, bots scamming everything. Nobody works here. Who's there? Censorship rampant. Mute my audio, damn it. Why not work for free? We'll run ads, go climb a tree. It's not your IP, you're a rent. Kid, you're getting nothing because physical media died. We killed it. Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle, corporations steal all their wages. Like your spam, creators banned, we'll do it. Switch that URL, now you're non-compliant. Pay us now or we'll riot. It's not a threat, we'll buy it. Metaphorical lyrics, we need you fix it, Felix. Audio jungle, artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle. wages. Physical media's dead. Every song in your head is branded. Computer breaks down, you're stranded. What's internet granddad? Long phone contract expired. Now you're a die. Media isn't for remembering. It's all fast food slop. Never decays but still tastes like plop. You want quality, go make it yourself. Sorry, I already own the rights. Go play in your audio jungle, kid. It's over. Audio jungle. Artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle. Corporations do. Audio jungle. Artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle. Corporations steal all their wages. Does this song ever end? I keep singing. Heard enough, now your ears are ringing. New media sucks, all recycled, but every time you use our tune, you pay. You say remix it, not enough. You fire, get rich quick, forget about it. Doing this for fun, unblocked and unbanned. Don't think we allow it. We allow it. Songs in my head got physical media. Wetware brain and in the cloud, my spirit. Let's hear it. You mad, so edit Wikipedia. Oops, I forgot you're no editor. Go whine to a redditor and go pay a creditor. Leave it alone, give it rest, let me have fun. That's the best. Creativity is inspiration, art of the past for a new generation. Preserve it, use it, or lose it. It's all I've got, cause the music is gone. Audio jungle. Artists don't get paid. You say audio jungle. Corporations steal all their wages. It's over, he said, I have the high ground. Keep questioning their system. Find someone who will listen, and opinions don't dismiss them. Until you've seen for yourself and talk to a real human. Touch grass and let the pain dry. Don't get high on your own supply of wisdom. The end of the beginning of the night. Audio jungle.
Rantcast. All right, it is the Rantcast. We're back. Welcome. Twitch.tv/TheRantCastPodcast. For how much longer? Who knows? As long as we can do it. So, we do not have StrangeBus with us tonight. He sends his regrets, but we do have a guest here tonight. RobChamp. Welcome, sir, to the Rantcast.
Evening.
Hey.
Thank you for having me.
So you may have been hearing the AI-generated music we were playing. Yes, it's AI-generated from suno.com. Lyrics by me. I did write that. Audio Jungle with apologies to the actual Audio Jungle website. Just was feeling particularly angry about the fact that our last episode, episode 65, was completely muted. All the music, all the audio, completely wiped out, completely gone. 4 hours of work, not wasted, because we did enjoy the live experience with our audience. That was great. But yeah, that really pissed me off. And then the other issue I had with Twitch, I mean, they've been good to us so far, but man, that really stings. Then they implement this new policy where you've got 100 hours of content stored, and that's it. So highlights, clips, uploads, forget it. You got to delete the stuff as you create it. So to work around that, we are continuing to upload our stuff directly to YouTube. We're going to continue to stream on this platform, Twitch, as much as we can, but some of the blooms off the rose, some of the magic is gone. It's too bad. But yes, the Rantcast podcast will be still viewable on YouTube, the Rantcast Podcast Archive, and also on Spotify.com as soon as we can with the audio. But there's no audio for episode 65. So I don't know if we'll try to recreate some of that on a future episode, but this is a brand new episode. This is episode 66. And I'll just go ahead and get our screen going here. And Rob, I appreciate you showing up here tonight. It might be a little shorter show, though, because we don't have our usual range of topics, but I think there's a few things we could talk about. So how have you been?
Yeah.
Start off here.
It's been good. It's been good. Things are good. Weather's starting to get nice, so spring's right around the corner. Excited.
Oh man,
Excited.
that sun coming out and warmer weather. I like it. Yeah, depending on where you are in the world, that's definitely a thing.
Yeah, I'm in the Northeast here, so
Yeah,
that
Midwest.
time of year where
Yep.
it could be like really warm one day and then like really cold the next, so it's
Hmm.
kind of
Kind of
all
weird.
over the place. But I'll take the little sunshine we got today.
Yeah, yeah. I really wanted to get out there and start painting. I've got a whole bunch of stuff I want to paint, which is going to segue into our next topic here. So, thinking about Gen Con, July 31st through August 3rd this year in Indianapolis, Indiana. And that's actually the website behind us. It looks like wrestling. It's like there's the ring rope and everything, but no, that's just those are some cosplayers. Let me just get the screen going here. So, correct me if I'm wrong. Do you have plans to go this year? I know you went last
Yes,
time.
yep, I'm going. I think I'm gonna roll in on Tuesday and I think leave on Monday. I think I'm actually gonna stay a little extra
Ah,
compared to last year where I just came in on Wednesday and left Sunday.
nice, nice. Well, that's really cool. I mean, I had a good time hanging out with you and Angus and Ribby and uh, yeah, just I mean, we ran into all kinds of people there. Um, we kind of found each other, so it was great. Well, and knowing that so many of us from the community, from the HeroQuest fans, Discord community, are going to be there is great. I'm not saying we have to all hang out. I mean, we don't all have to be friends, right? Just because we interact online, but I think it is nice to just kind of see the person behind the handle, or at least their cosplay disguise. You know, hang out, play some games, support each other. I'm definitely going to be there as well. So, yeah, my plan is to come there the day before. So I'm, I feel like I've got a system down, like getting the tickets and then uh, having everything delivered, booked my hotel. I always kind of question the hotel because, I read the reviews that they have online and like I read the worst reviews and I'm like, oh man, I hope that's not going to be me. you know, that have it. I mean, I've stayed in some real flea bags before, like in my travels. So I feel like I can handle it, but at the same time, like the older I get, the more, like, I don't know, curmudgeon I get about it. Like the more I'm gonna
Yeah,
complain to the manager.
I feel well if you're not staying right downtown, I feel like a lot of the hotels by the airport are probably safe bet. Like the one I stayed at by the airport was pretty nice
Yeah,
because they
yeah,
got a lot of travelers, coming in and out, as
yeah,
opposed to like maybe some other side of town or something.
yeah, yeah. And I'm not gonna say exactly where I'm staying. You never know these days, right? But yeah, I'd stay in closer to the airport this time, but I think it'll be all right. Yeah, not cheap, but I don't know. Sometimes you get what you pay for. Hopefully.
I was going to answer Joe. I saw nothing happens on Tuesday, but I'll be driving in, so I'll be getting there like late Tuesday night. But then Wednesday they have like I think a block party or something, or I figure I could just walk around town or something.
Ah, that might be interesting. Yeah, I didn't do the block party. The very first year I did the haunted tour of Indianapolis, and that was a lot of fun. But I mean, I went with friends. So, good friend of mine and his wife and another couple they knew. They had their schedule booked way in advance. I was kind of like the latecomer. This was 2 years ago, and so I was lucky to get into anything. But they dropped some of their plans so that we could all do the tour together, which was really cool of them. This
That
year,
sounds cool.
yeah, yeah. Tell me about some of the stuff you did. What were some of the standouts from your experience?
Ah, honestly, I didn't do much. I hung out over by the Avalon Hill booth the most. I got sick. I was actually like pretty
Oh, that's
sick and
right.
didn't even kind of realize it.
Oh, I forgot
I
about that.
thought I was so sore from just walking around. I was like, this is insane. I haven't been walking that much. It wasn't like until I got home that I got hit with this like 101 fever. But
Dang.
yeah, so I didn't do a lot of events and I just kind of hung around. I don't think I'm going to buy really, unless there's like specific, HeroQuest stuff that do. I probably won't buy that many tickets. I'll probably just hang out. And I was thinking maybe if you guys wanted to play some games, we could meet up every like Thursday and Friday at a particular time and play a game.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot depends on that. That's absolutely true. Yeah, man, I'm glad you mentioned that. I totally forgot about the sickness. I think Angus, he got sick too, and somebody else. Like there was a couple people that all got sick.
On crud, they called it.
The con crud. Yeah. Well, I know 2 years ago, one of the guys in our group had got COVID, and it was like, oh crap, because back then we were still like, okay, I mean, we're just coming back from this, and how's it gonna be? The interesting thing was like he had some other thing going on, and so like he'd kind of walk by himself a lot of the time. So like we weren't close to him, so it's like, okay, that's probably why most of us didn't get sick from that. But he thinks he caught it from some other group that he was with, like somebody was hacking up a lung or whatever. You never know. I mean, 72,000 people, something's bound to happen. So I was kind of surprised I didn't get anything, but maybe this time it'll be my time. We'll see.
Yeah, it was probably COVID still just lingering around a little bit.
Yeah,
I haven't heard about it as much. But there was a little bit of an outbreak, it seemed, last summer. So.
yeah. Well, I mean, I was also thinking to myself, well, I mean, I didn't stay for after parties. I didn't go out drinking. I didn't even go to restaurants because like a lot of that stuff last year was canceled. It was like the people I was going to meet up with like weren't there, and so it's just like, oh, I'll just go back to my hotel and just order pizza. It's like so I had minimal interaction. Plus the whole time I had my Zargon outfit on. So although people kept saying like, oh, Burnout Thor, yeah, oh, Big Lebowski, like okay, well I'll take it. And so it's like I had this covering on my face. So I don't know if that helped at all or if that just held the disease closer to my face. Who knows? Oh, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe's got some comments. It says rant. Oh, and Jacer says rant on, brother. Joe says today was beautiful here in Northeast Ohio. It was in the high 60s. Does anything happen on Tuesday? I think we be there sometime Wednesday afternoon, early evening. Oh, cool, cool. So we're getting the band back together. I like it. Joe continues. He says, "Sounds good to me. Depending on what games I sign up for, I got it on the last day. I was hoping it was just allergies, but I got hit with the con crud. And then my friend went with got it a few days later. Yeah, that sucks. Plus my often awesome biff on the pavement when I tripped on the stupid metal plate in the road. My poor sword and sorcery got one corner crushed. I fell on it.
Oh,
Oh, but your dice survived, didn't they? I sort of remember this story now. Like he lost one of the HeroQuest the Mountain Dew dice, right? And it was like, oh, it's gone. But then he found it again, I think. Tell me that's right, Joe, if I remember it correctly. Because we kept coming back. They just said, well, you can get one per day. And I think, Rob, were you the one who had a whole set of six by the end? Or is that Rudy?
no, I have four. I don't know if I gave one away or not, but I have four.
Okay.
So
I ended up with six, and I gave them all away. And, oh, shoot. I remember now. I'm so sorry. I think I know exactly who it was. There was like a couple, because I was mailing out stuff at the end, because I had all this swag to give away. Like I gave away shirts that had HeroQuest fans on it, and then I printed out some tiles with little boots on them for HeroQuest, and I had some HeroQuest cards, some extras from the first year, in fact, that was given away.
the
And
nothing card.
yeah, the nothing card. Yeah. Well, and there were people that were like, "Oh man, you got to give me the dice." I'm like, "They're not that cool." It's like, "Oh, please, please, please," And so I mailed out a bunch of them, but I think there was one more that I still need to send out. I need to look up who it was. I'm so sorry. I was gonna do that, and then time got away from me, and I forgot. And it's somewhere in a bag in my apartment. I promise you, I'm not hoarding it. I didn't think the dice were that great, but I mean, I'm happy to give it away. So if I find your name again, I'm gonna mail it to you. I just don't know when. And I got to check my inventory. So whatever I don't have enough of, I'm gonna have to reorder. But thankfully, I've got time to do that. I'm sure there's higher prices on stuff now than back then. But yeah, there was the people wanted various things from the convention. Um, One person wanted me to buy the new D&D book. That actually was pretty easy to get. Like there were long lines, but then when it finally came out, it was just like, oh, you want this? Here you go. And then I was like, oh, that's a bad sign. Like they've got stuff left over. Like I thought it was gonna sell out. And then
Well, they had a
yeah,
big issue the year before, so they had to really get that one, that you know, in order so that it ran smoothly. They did a really good job because last year, the year before, I guess they did
they didn't have
had a
enough.
whole mess.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I never know what to expect with these things. I mean, people just tell me stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, no promises. I'll see if I can do it. And then, sure enough, a couple people wanted programs. I got those. There was but I mean, I couldn't say yes to everyone. There's people that wanted like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles RPG book or something, and I was like, no, there's no chance, and I can't get it. It's not gonna work. I don't. You want to pay me back? That's nice of you, but I just can't. I can't get it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if people ask me that stuff this time, I mean, like I said, I'll try, but no promises.
The dealer hall, it's no joke going in there. It's elbow to elbow in parts of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that part of the convention was definitely crowded. I mean, with all my stuff, I've got like my backpack and my handheld bag. I had everything. Like, I mean, I'm like back in the big city here. It's like, no, don't get close. But in the exhibit hall, there was lots of room. I mean, you could swing your arms around and not karate chop two or three people at once. Brightly lit and everything. And I don't know about you, but like parking was not an issue. The only time I had an issue with parking was one day when I was just tired. I'd stayed up really late doing the stream afterwards, like in the hotel room, and I was like, I'm gonna sleep in. And then it was like, oh, I gotta park far away. This sucks. But even then, I think I only had to park at like maybe it was the third from the top on the parking garage, and I'd walk all the way down, and then just. But I mean, I only had to go like one block, and I was there. Whereas when I went with friends, like we parked way back, and I had to like walk, I don't know, like 5 or 10 minutes to get there. So other than the morning commute, it wasn't too bad at all. I don't know about you. What was it like getting there?
I parked right next to. I got right next to the food trucks every morning, but you had to be there by like 9. If you got, I noticed the closer, like by 9 o'clock, that parking lot was sold out.
Yeah.
So, but I got there very early. It was $30 a day though.
Yeah.
This year, I'm in a peculiar situation where I'm 45-minute walk. So I'm like, does that mean I drive or does that mean I walk? I don't know. So it'll probably depend on maybe the weather or my legs. We'll have to
Oh
see.
man. Well, I mean, I'm hoping to like get in better shape by then. I started now. I kind of let put on some extra pounds, so I'm definitely working on that. But yeah, the exercise wouldn't kill me. I'm sure the weather is going to be fine. And the nice thing about having a costume is you can just like it's an extra layer, so you can always take it off. But and you're traveling during the day, so it's not like coming back in the middle of the night or anything. I was kind of concerned about the very first time I went because I'm like, oh man, I don't have an armed escort with me, but
No.
it's Indianapolis. I mean, there was a couple interesting people in the streets, but nothing really bad happened. But man, I really lucked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was able to get good parking, didn't have to wait, and I didn't mind. I mean, as long as it's like, yeah, get up early, get a shower, breakfast was nothing to scream about at the hotel, and then get over there, and it's like just enough time that you're not going to miss anything. Yeah, exactly. Working on the gut. I gotta get that going. Gotta get the dad bod. Respect the dad bod. Okay, so Joe had a few more comments here. Man, I wish you were Joe. If you want, you don't have to, but if you want, we are in the bus of Discord, in the stream audio. If you want to hop into the voice channel, we're not in HeroQuest fans. We're in StrangeBus's place. So yeah, it's up to you. Because I mean, I'm reading all your comments. It's like you could be just talking to us. Let's see. He says they were in a different bag. I wish I'd grabbed three more to have a full set of six. Got a lot of random dice from every table that was giving them out. See, I got a few extra, not a ton. I got a couple of D20s. So I had some friends that are big D&D fans, and so I got some for them. Got a whole bunch of
That was
the talisman dice.
That was my goal, was staying until Monday. This Sunday, I'm definitely hovering. Hanging out over by Avalon Hill all day.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. And Ribby, I was talking with Ribby about this, and uh, the thought was like, okay, right now you get the event badge, right? And I had thought about getting, well, is there like a press pass or like a vendor license? Because I was thinking like, oh, maybe I could have a little like HeroQuest fans like kiosk or something. It's like, well, I'm not going to spend a lot of money, and then it was too late anyway. So never mind. But there's no event tickets yet, and until those actually go on sale, we don't really know what they're going to have. I mean, we know Avalon Hill will be there, but yeah, what will HeroQuest be? Will just be um, more First Light. We're all hoping, of course, that it's going to be Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. We're going to have Joe there. He's going to come out of a birthday cake. He's going to sing a song. I don't know. But I mean, we'll have that, and then we'll have Wizards of Morcar. Either, I mean, maybe they'll show it to us, or maybe it'll just be announced, or, I mean, I don't know. It would be great if we just walked in and it's just there. There it is, and you can play it. So yeah, a lot depends on what is going on. But that very first year I went, I had a great time just hovering around, like you say, just looking at stuff, just trying random games, you know, uh, you know, chasing the Avalon Hill guys around and asking them questions, just making a nuisance of myself. That was a lot of fun. And one thing that I would really like to try again. I mean, we've probably made enough fun of the laser tag guys and their lackluster performance at the Warhammer kill team thing, but there was a LARP group, and it wasn't called the LARP group, and it wasn't called True Dungeon, because there's a thing out there called True Dungeon, which everyone talks about to me. They're like, "Oh, you got to try True Dungeon. It's like an escape room, but it's like fantasy." And it turns out that was nothing like what I did. What I did, it was some group that was in one of the. This was 2 years ago. It was one of the hotels, like the breakout rooms at the hotel, connected to the convention center. And so you'd go there and you could just sign up for however much you pay. I ended up paying $5 and I was there for like 3 hours or something, 3 or 4 hours. And I played as a monster. So I just put different costumes on and I ran at people and attacked them with foam swords. And it was like, that was really awesome. That was really fun. It was really stupid, but I loved it. And I mean, if they had something like that again, I would definitely do it. This last year, I think they did have people with foam swords, but it was more like this is how to do stage combat, which is cool. I've done that sort of thing before, but not like an RPG. Like you go into this room, okay, these are the monsters they're attacking, and you brought your own weapons, so you're gonna try to like fight your way past them to get the treasure or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know what else they'll have, but I guess yeah, whatever Avalon Hill doesn't do, I mean, there's other things to see. There's other things to explore.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey,
All
welcome.
right. I haven't tested the microphone on my new computer yet.
Redcast. All right, so Angus,
Yeah.
Angus is here. You sound a little bit muffled, but I think I can hear you okay.
How about now?
Still sounds like you're talking through a cape or something. You're doing the Batman thing.
Huh.
Yeah. How about I guess I could turn up your volume. I don't think I can really clean it up.
All right. Test, test, test,
Yeah, a
test.
little muffled, but I mean you're there.
You guys sound perfect.
Oh, great.
Maybe I just need a better microphone connected to this computer.
Maybe hashtag get Angus a new microphone. So are you going this year? Maybe you said
Yes.
already. All right, cool. So we're getting the band back together, like it's
Yeah, definitely. If we can, depending on what games I sign up for,
yeah,
what my free space is.
yeah. We tried to coordinate. Yeah. Does anybody know what date they actually um, put the event tickets on? It's on a Sunday, isn't it? That they go on sale.
I think. Let me
Is it
see.
next month in April?
I don't mean to sound like a shill for them. I know there's other game conventions. It's just that this is the one that's close enough to me and affordable enough that I can go. And I had a great time, so I told myself I'd do it again and again. But what if it turns out there's nothing? Like Avalon Hill's not doing anything special. Like, do you think you guys will still go?
I'll be there. Yeah, I'll still go.
Oh man, still get to hang out. We can do stuff. We can have fun. I mean, it's kind of an expensive way to hang out, but once a year I can afford it. Bohemyus,
Trying to find the date.
Event
Bohemyus is here.
registration is May 18th.
May 18th. Okay. So what day
Okay.
is that?
Now, don't they usually put the events out 2 weeks early before the actual day to
Oh
sign
yeah,
up for them?
to give us a
You
little bit
can
of an
kind of
opportunity.
you
Yeah.
get your little dream
Yeah,
list
your
or
wish list.
something.
That's right. That's what they do. They do a wish list. And since I work on that day, unfortunately, I will we'll see. Last time Ribby got me my tickets, and even then we had to change them because they kept changing. Like what they were kept changing. So I'm gonna try to be a little bit better this time, and I don't know, maybe I'll take some time off just so I can get something. But yeah, having it ahead of time would certainly help. So May 18th, nice. Bohemius is here. Welcome to the Redcast.
Hello.
Hey, I don't suppose you're going to Gen Con, are you?
It's too expensive for me. But
Oh,
guys,
yeah, I
you
kind of.
have fun. Okay. No, it's a nice experience, I know. But I had all my youth going around for conventions, so
You did it all.
I
Yeah.
I see. Yes, I know. I know how they are.
Well, see, yeah, I mean, other than in 2000 when I went to E3, it's like I didn't do any of this stuff. So I get to do it in my middle age. So all the cosplay
Same
and
here.
nonsense. Well, and the other thing is, let's say best case scenario, Avalon Hill does all their HeroQuest stuff. They pull out all the stops, whatever we don't know by then, from UK Games Expo and Bologna and everything else. Like it just explodes at Gen Con. The nice thing is, regardless of what we do, people in the chat will be like posting stuff. People will get reports, photos, info, wherever they can, and they'll just post it up immediately. So doesn't matter who's first as long as somebody gets it, right? Somebody comments on it. Like I want this time I want to actually have, like I was thinking, like, oh man, I should get a burner phone and then I can report it, the second that I get it, like upload it immediately. I know the hotel that Ribby was staying at like had much better reception, much better internet, whereas the one I was at, it was kind of crappy, it was kind of flaky, so I couldn't rely on that. And I had all kinds of problems in there, but I mean, he got the scoop first. It's like I'm not jealous. Okay, I was a little bit jealous, but but I mean, you can hear me on his video too. It's like I'm here with him, so we still got it. We still reported it. And the thing is, I know that there's official media channels, there's official like press and everything. I mean, we're guerrilla reporters, I guess. There's people that are there like in official capacity and get all the VIP access, but I figure it does mean something to hear from fans, just like ordinary people like ourselves, people who like didn't get, I don't know, a special privilege. Like we just showed up, we just got what we could. So I don't know. Not to say that we're unbiased. I mean, we all have our biases, but we have we can be a little bit more open about it because we're not worried that they're going to take that away from us because we never had it to begin with. I don't.
Take a
Are you going to
take
go
away.
for an interview this year?
I'd really like to. I mean, it all depends on who's there. I I'm guessing Doug will be back, but I guess I don't know that for sure. I don't know. Patrick's been there every time, so it would probably be worthwhile talking to him, Patrick O'Rourke, and then who else would be there? I don't know. Because the other thing is, a lot of those Avalon Hill people, they'll just say no, no, can't do an interview. I'm not cleared for media or whatever. So they can chat with us, but they're not going to talk formally on the record about it. I think last year, Doug said, well, because I really wanted to talk to Craig Von Ness, like I wanted to talk to him about HeroScape, but he was like, well, I'll have to meet with him first, and then I'll have to like look at the questions, make sure they're okay, and then I'm gonna have to sit there with him and like edit it, and it was just like, I don't know, it kind of sounds crappy. So I ended up just talking to him off the record again, and that was fine, just kind of report it in my own words. But yeah, I definitely like to get some interviews.
Do a live rantcast too, or something.
There we go. Yeah, I'm getting some new shirts made. I mean they're kind of plain, but I mean they're just like the Rantcast logo, like on a gray shirt. So I could bring some extras in case anybody's interested. Somebody listens to our show. Well, and the other thing is, there could be new people there, right? I mean, if Joe was there, like how cool would it be to interview him? Of course, I don't know if he would. He's such a big shot, such a celebrity. Maybe he wouldn't do it. It's like, no, don't talk about
Yeah, yeah. If Joe is there, just put me live. I would tell him something.
Joe.
Joe.
It's like I sat through your entire stream. You get no autographs, nothing. You criticized my expansion. No, we gave him constructive criticism. We did, but we had a good time. We had a good time. So yeah, I would at least extend my thanks to the fact that yeah, first of all, he made it happen when it might not have happened, and then he did whatever needed to be done to make sure it went into retail, which we did.
It's looking.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I say it's looking like that. COPD's coming out first. It looks like then, huh?
Yeah, that was kind of my thought. Well, what did the rest of you think of that?
Did you see the post today? Is the news of today? Sikashem find out like the date of release date of COPD.
Okay, so let's.
Is remember when we guessed the other day? Is the first of July, the very first days of July. We said it was going to be the end of June, beginning of July.
Yeah, so there's this document. This was a while back. So this is the what do they call it? The minimum advertised price or MAP policy from Hasbro, effective January 1st. And it says clear as day, HeroQuest Crypto Perpetual Darkness, $34.99 US dollars from June 1st to December 31st. So it's like, okay, that's a nice minimum range. Witches of Morcar is not mentioned though. So it's kind of like, ugh. Does that mean it's going to be January of the next year? But then, yeah, like you say, Sikashem, who is going to be there, according to what he says. So get to meet him. Let me grab that was shared here.
You can find it in news.
Yeah.
It's been shared
Yeah.
everywhere.
Let's make sure this is the right one. Okay, so here it is. You kind of read it. Oh yeah, I need to update that because we've got multiple guests now. Thanks for joining us, guys. I did talk a lot about how our shows are the best when there's just two people, not one. It's like the magic number. But you guys are really polite. Sometimes we talk over each other and it gets to be kind of chaotic. So I don't mean it to be that way. I do want the show to be more organized. I have gotten some good feedback on that, but I think the way we'll do it. I mean, you guys are great, but if it ever gets like too over the top and it's like some people are just doing all the talking, they'll be like, okay, let's hear what so and so has to say, and make sure everybody gets a chance. Nobody feels left out. But yeah, go ahead, comment. What do you think? So this is July 1st.
I'm excited for it to come out so that the people that didn't get the Mythic tier can actually get it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's mostly it for me too, because I mean, I've said it a million times. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not as good as some of the other quests that have come out, like the official stuff. I mean, I didn't even know who Joe Manganiello was before it came out, so I wasn't like a fan of his. Going like, oh man, I can't wait to see what he did. And we've already played through it, but I do know that. I mean, I could pretty much guarantee that they're at least gonna make a pass through it to like fix some of the issues, some of the errors. I would
I was
expect
gonna
to
Well,
say,
see some dressing up. Go ahead. Yeah, Angus, do you have something?
I was just saying, I would hope that they would at least give it a cursory run through again, just to make sure that all the problems that have come up get taken care of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I
I was gonna
definitely,
say,
Rob, go ahead.
is there a polite way to suggest they do that to them? Like, hey, we're really excited you guys are doing this, but you might wanna, tweak this or look at that.
Yeah,
Wink, wink.
yeah. I think it's probably too late at this point. I mean, when Frozen Horror came out, I feel like I mean, I did my best along with several other people to be like, hey, wait a minute. There's all these problems with this quest pack. Like, I really want to see it, but you need to fix this, this, this. And it was like, okay, Into the Northlands comes out as a digital release, which was a brilliant idea. But it was like, I'm sure if they'd had more time, they would have put those edits like in the book, which is what they did with Mage of the Mirror. So I think with Crypt of Perpetual Darkness, they've had enough time knowing that people have play tested it publicly and commented on it, and they have all that to go on. So I'm
That's
sure they
true.
could.
Yeah.
I'm sure they fixed it by now. Now, does that mean they have fixed every single thing? Probably not. I mean, I as anybody who's written like a term paper or a thesis or anything, you know that like you can do it hundreds of times, and it's like your editor looks at everything and then you turn it in and it's like, oh, and I forgot that stupid made this stupid mistake, and it's already in print. It's too late. Oh well. It can always be better, but at a certain point, you just have to release it, and there it is. But I think it'll definitely be better. It'll be improved as a product from what we got. And I don't feel bad about that. I feel like, yeah, it's definitely. I feel bad for the people who didn't get the Mythic tier who really wanted it, and this will be their opportunity to get it, just like with Spirit Queen and Prophecy, and hopefully everything else that's left. Do you guys think they'll try to cram some other miniatures in there that weren't there before, besides just the dragon? I guess we don't know.
I I was gonna say, do you think it'll be the same dragon? Do you guys think they might change it or?
I think it'll be the same
My
dragon.
guess
What do you
probably
guys think?
change it somewhat.
You think they'll change it?
That way the original can stay. What's that word? Proprietary.
Yeah,
I believe they for sure they will change the color of the plastic.
yeah. Well, that's what they did with the other pieces in the other two packs. I expect to see more of that. I mean, as much as some people were upset about it, like they're like, I don't like these colors or whatever. But yeah, it's a way for them to sort of toe the line or thread the needle between those two groups of people. The collectors who want their original purchase to be still unique and still rare and special, but then other people who wanted to buy it, couldn't buy it, don't want to pay scalper prices for it. And it's like, okay, well, if I paint this, it'll just be the same. I know that a lot of people did complain about the dragon being like on a pillar so that it would be a one square monster, it like tipping over. I mean, Ribby printed out some awesome rims that you can clip together so that it's more stable, which we used on our stream, by the way.
Maybe it's remarkable.
Ribby's remarkable rims, yeah. Yep.
I don't know. I'm being attacked today in Discord by every direction when I said my opinion on exactly this topic.
We want to attack
So
you, and then you say it, and we start attacking you. That's kidding. What was so
No,
controversial?
well, it's controversial the fact that uh, I'm referring always to the leaks of November 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, but this box should have been released with a box with the mythic tier that is missing. Okay, but those leaks were extremely confused. Okay, and it's possible that maybe they were thinking about the same box. Okay, they reported two different boxes. So it's possible that this one is a box with all the rest of the stuff of the mythic that is missing. And it's the okay, so all the heroes, okay, all the extra miniatures. People say they were exclusive to the mythic campaign, but you had the interview and they say, well, we don't want to have any exclusivity. We want to release everything. Oh, you or somebody else. Now I don't remember exactly.
Oh, okay. I think I get what you're saying. So let me unpack some of this, especially for people who haven't been following us. So we had the HasLab campaign, the crowdfund, where they released all this HeroQuest stuff. HeroQuest had come back, from the dead after 32, 35 years. And if you pledged at all, so there was the heroic tier, which was the game system, right? The remake of the game system. But you got a special little box that had four extra heroes in it. So there was a female wizard, female barbarian, male elf, female dwarf, right? And there was a figure that it said, like, the version of this character will be exclusive to this campaign. And it was Sir Ragnar Prisoner, right? So he was in the box too. So that little box was what you got alongside the game system if you pledged the heroic tier, the 99.99. What we always talk about is the mythic tier, which is what everybody wanted, which was the 149.99. That was everything that you got in the heroic tier plus the stretch goals. So all those alternate monsters. So you had like female zombies and stuff, and you had the bard and the warlock and the druid, and you had the three extra quest books. Prophecy of Telor by Stephen Baker. You had Spirit Queen's Torment by Teos Badia, and Joe Manganiello's Crypt of Perpetual Darkness with his tile sheet and his dragon, which was like the last tier at the bottom. And those people also got exclusives. They got the Witch Lord figure and the Mentor figure, which of course always shocks somebody like me because I'm like, that's Zargon. It's like, no, it's Mentor. Um, but yeah, if the Joe Manganiello one ends up being all there, like it's all the same. Like I don't think they're gonna rewrite the quests, right? The quests are gonna be the same. I don't think they're gonna redo the tiles. I think the tiles are gonna be the same. So the only question is, yeah, if the dragon's gonna be the same, well, what's proprietary now, right? That was like the last thing. So would it just be the Sir Ragnar figure that we don't get, or would we get it just in a different color, or what? Because
Eh,
if
People
if
were
all the
complaining
gaps are
also
gone,
about the druid.
they could do it all. Oh, the druid. Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that's the wrench in my theory. My perfect theory is shattered by that one point because they gave us the new sculpt of the druid. Well, the two new sculpts, the halfling druids
Yeah.
in against the ogre horde. Same gameplay mechanics, just totally different sculpt because people complained about the sculpt. So maybe along those lines, you think they're going to tweak the dragon, like maybe use a similar design but not exactly
Or,
the same. Maybe make it two square.
or they're going to release the mythic. My point was they're going to release a mythic druid, the same one, okay, but to make it appeal because we already have the druid that with a different sculpted with all the rules already in another box. They could do like a little update on the druid,
An
like
update.
what I mean is like a booster, like they did with years ago for the elf. They give extra spells, but nobody liked the idea. But I'm just trying to put myself in the shoes of the designer that have to they have to think how to repurpose the druid.
Hmm.
So that could be an idea.
I'm thinking about this now. Yeah, if they expanded the character or revised the sculpt a little bit, that could be acceptable. If it was close enough, I'm sort of thinking about what they did with the knight, right? They tweaked the knight, but it was
Yeah, look,
close enough.
to be fair, I want to also report the critique they received. They say they well, the if you do that, then what happened? The people will expect a booster for all the other characters
Oh, sure, yeah.
in
Yeah,
the
if you boost
future.
one character, you got to boost them all, every single one.
Mhm.
Well, I
But
could
I don't see it as a booster. I see it just as an optional way to play it.
an option, yeah,
But
yeah. It'll be
mhm.
there without commentary. And I
but
can see.
that one is the theory. It is not founded on anything. It's just a pure uh, uh, a pure idea. I think
All right,
all the rest anyway
cut his mic, throw him
is
off the
is
show. I'm just joking.
possible.
No, I don't see why that's so bad. I mean, that's just I mean, either what you would guess or what you'd like to see, or maybe this will happen. There's nothing wrong with speculating. And I can see the dragon being modified. Like instead of being like wrapped around a pillar, maybe it would be like crouching over something more like the ogre throne, that takes up 2 squares. Like I could imagine something like that. It wouldn't be changed very much, but it would be more stable, and you could still say it's still unique.
The miniature is perfect like it is. I believe they made it in purpose to play on one square. And he's a big dragon. Okay,
Yeah.
it's just on a pillar.
Well, that's especially why you don't want to buy one like a resin knockoff because it's going to tip over and break. Whereas this is much more solid. Well, let's see. So, Rob, what are your thoughts about that? Do you think
I was kind
they'll
of wondering.
release everything? Or some?
Yeah, I mean, eventually, probably. Yeah, it just makes the most sense, you know.
Mhm.
At least I was wondering though if, as for extras or to add with crypt, maybe like furniture too. Is there? You guys played through it, right? Is there any like furniture that stands out or anything like scene setting? I guess.
Hmm. Well, I mean, I kind of remember just kind of the usual, the bookcase or the throne slides aside and the thing goes in. So it's like it wouldn't really have to be anything special like that. I mean, you have the inn tile, of course, and you have which I would love to see come back, and you have the temple, but I don't know. Generally, I hate to say it kind of feels a little bit plain compared to some of the other expansions. It's Crypt is almost like the type of expansion that you could just play it with a brand new set of heroes like you'd never played before. Just start at the beginning and play to the end. Like you wouldn't have had to play a lot of other stuff. So I don't know. At the same time, though, I mean, there was no reason why we had to have elven furniture in the 2 expansions where we got it, but they decided to do that anyway. So could they create something like that that would just sort of be within the theme of a crypt, a scary crypt, marshes, swamps, tavern? I mean, they could do something like that. It's hard to predict something like that. You know what I mean?
Hmm. What is the overall story of that quest? 'Cause I'm not completely familiar with it.
Oh man. So anybody want to chime in, or should I tell the tale?
Should we spoil it for him?
We're not gonna spoil it.
well, well,
Long as
I'm going to spoil. I'm going to spoil the best as I can. Um, you're going to find yourself searching for the exit in every,
oh man, heard it
and,
here first.
and get stuck in some peril because there's I don't, without spoilers really I don't know what to say.
Well, it starts out in a tavern, and Joe makes a couple of snide little jokes about how every great adventure starts in a tavern. And basically, you get a treasure map, and so every quest you're just like, okay, the map says to go through here, so you just find the exit and go through. And he has some nice little gimmicky, cool ideas at the start, but over time it kind of like I don't know, it's almost like he had to hurry up and finish it. So it's like, okay, just add more spells, add more monsters, add more spells, add more monsters, add more traps. Just go. And even so, I mean, it didn't rise to the level of like Frozen Horror or anything. So he didn't overdo it. But yeah, I don't know. This could be an opportunity if he's got the time to beef it up a little bit. I don't know if that'll happen. I guess I'm not really expecting that. I'm just expecting, yeah, just some fixes to some obvious errors. You know, fix some typos. But if he wanted to, he could add some more things. Of course, I guess there is that sense that maybe he would not want to do that because you've got people who miss the mythic tier who just want it and they're going to bite the bullet on any changes, but they would like it more or less as it was. I think that's kind of a safe thing. Like as close as it is, warts and all. That's what they're going to want.
Mhm.
I mean, if I missed the mythic
Yeah,
tier, I'd probably be telling myself, well, it wasn't that great of a quest anyway, so I'm not bitter about missing it.
you mentioned furniture. The only room that will like deserve a furniture would be the inn, like you said. But the
Barstool.
tile of the inn is a problem in itself because it's going to be a small box and barely fit
Ah,
without the cardboard, the
oh
how it's
yeah,
called, the
that
cutout.
that's a good point. That's a good point, Bohemius. So 34.99. That is the price of Spirit Queen's Torment, Prophecy Teller, Keller's Keep, Return of the Witch Lord. So that implies, yeah, smaller box. I have measured it, and those tiles will fit without modification. The only thing is you can't have that extra cardboard that you punch it out of. You basically just got to pre-punch it, or the part that you punch out is going to be so small, like it's barely even any point to having it. I mean, you can have a full tile sheet and fold it in half, so it'll fit. There's that too. I mean, we have had expansions where the tiles have been folded like that. Not the tiles themselves, but I mean, like, you unfold it, you punch everything out, and then you throw that away. Like you don't need it, and it fits just fine. But yeah, the inn is very large. I thought you were gonna say something like about the fact that the inn tile has like the tables and the bar stools and the barrels and all that
Yeah,
stuff like
I
printed
mean
on
that.
there.
I mean, it would be nice to have plastic in made
Yeah,
of plastic,
yeah. They
but I don't know, would be something extra. And in this kind of expansion, they're trying to cut costs because it's a small
small.
box. So I don't know if they are going to print something entirely for the quest.
Imagine this though, if you will. So Spirit Queen's Torment, Prophecy of Tellar, what did they give us? They gave us stretch goal monsters, right? So if you bought those two packs together, you would actually have more of the stretch goal monsters than we did when we bought the mythic tier because there was like two skeletons in each one. So put them together, you've got four now, and you only got two in the original. Four zombies. I think there was only three abominations. There was only two dread warriors. There was only one dread sorcerer. There was two gargoyles, but one of them was the red gargoyle that was supposed to be. I mean, they didn't say it, but it was supposed to be like the alternate form of the warlock. But just think, they wouldn't have to necessarily have all those monsters and all those distributions, right? You've got the
Yeah.
dragon, which is oversized, okay. But if you nixed some of those extra monsters, thinking, oh, people can just buy the other packs to get those, they could have room for some bonus furniture. But it's like Chris always said, Chris Nato,
Yeah,
which would you
but
rather
yet
have? You know?
they have to sculpt it. This is
Well, that's true.
extra money.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They
So,
would have to expend money to create a new sculpt that had never existed
so,
before. That's a fair point.
so that's why I'm thinking about all the rest of the mythic that doesn't take too much space.
But isn't that also true if they modified the dragon or the druid? I mean, they have to make a new mold for that too, wouldn't they? Yeah.
That's why I don't believe they're going to modify it.
Oh, I see.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Hmm. So maybe you guys are thinking Cryptic Perpetual Darkness will be the quick cash grab. I mean, I say it in such a cynical way, but that'll be like the easy one. It's already done. You just change the colors and you throw it in a box. It's ready. And then Wizards of Morcar gets the rest of your funding, like so that you can actually develop new stuff. And
Yes.
then that's the one everybody waits for. So this is to tide you over until you get to the new one. You're like, oh man, they wrote new quests and they designed new characters and everything.
New molds and everything.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And this, maybe they just got to tweak the quest a little bit, but
Yeah. Angus, did you have anything to say about that? I don't want you to be left out.
Oh yeah, I only listened to a couple of episodes with playing through it, so I'm not too totally familiar with it myself either. But yeah, as long as it includes the tavern tile and maybe update the dragon so it does like the first light dragon, it takes up 2 spaces, so it's less top heavy.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then as far as what other monsters to include, it's a chance for them to put in some more of those mythic sculpts, like they did with the other.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. Yeah. Just give us all the sex swapped heroes. Throw in Sir Ragnar. Just finish it off.
Yeah, give us an actual Sir Ragnar, not prisoner Sir Ragnar.
Ah, Knight Sir Ragnar. See, there we go. Well, that's what people were missing from Rise of the Dread Moon. And spoilers, Chris Nato's comment was they eventually made a decision not to include him because they were like, well, he's basically just a Chaos Warrior or Dread Warrior, right? Maybe with the visor off on the helmet. So that's not very interesting. So they just kind of left it as you can use a Dread Warrior for him, or I ended up using the Knight figure, like because I thought that's what he looks like, or
Yeah,
maybe the
I lame, just to say, oh, he's just a Chaos Warrior now,
yeah
or sorry, Dread Warrior.
yeah you got to say it. I caught myself going the other direction. We were playing on a stream, and I put out a Famir character, and I called it an abomination. So I've gone the other way now. Because for the longest time, I would put the abomination out, and I would just say, and then a Famir attack, and then I wasn't even thinking, I wasn't like trying to be like a classic purist. I just accidentally said the old name, so that just never stops, I guess. There was a guy who on Yield In, and I can't find the thread now, but he had a list of all the named characters in the different quests. I know there are named characters or special characters in Crypt of Perpetual Darkness, besides the dragon, of course. There's a swamp hag, and there's a minotaur, undead minotaur. So there are characters that they could. I mean, I know you don't have to have a special miniature for every named character, but if they wanted to go that route, there are characters they could create. But then that gets back to the other issue of do they want to spend the extra money to create that character that you're just going to see one time? I mean, would it be cool? Absolutely.
yeah.
Right. Same goes
Well,
for
hey,
Gulag.
Ulag, Grak.
They're only in there once, but it'd be cool to have the special miniatures for them as opposed to the orc with the notched sword.
Yep. The big,
We don't have that in for
the large sword orc. Yeah. Well, I like the original HeroQuest, how it taught you as a kid, like, oh, this figure can represent more than one thing. Like, this could be an evil sorcerer, or it could be like the hero you're trying to save. This could be a zombie, or it could be like a wizard who's been, lost his mind from studying chaos magic too much. It's like, okay, that's kind of cool. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Is it a skeleton? Is it a statue? Is it a gargoyle? But yes, especially if you're, well, I was going to say if you're painting them, you want it to be the exact figure. But there you run into the problem of, you have the quest, you paint it for the quest, and then you have another quest where it's a different character, and you're like, oh shoot, now the paint's wrong. Now I got to paint it again, something else. I mean, I don't know what people do with that. Well, that's why you buy two sets, right? So that you can paint it two different ways. Sometimes I think it's easier to use your imagination when it's just a generic figure, you know. But I don't know. It depends on the person, I guess.
That could be a cool way though for Avalon Hill to make, kind of like the dice thing. It's, kind of a little gimmicky, but still kind of cool. Or just, maybe a pack of 4 special characters, that are related to each, expansion or something. I'm thinking because I was playing the Spirit Queen, and there's like Ulga, or who's, her apprentice there. There's like an orc we got to find, and then the orc is actually helping us. There's
Yeah,
like just different characters, if they had like a
the
small
friendly orcs.
package of special characters.
Well, although with that, the orc, I mean, I haven't played Spirit Queen's Tournament yet. I've read it several times though. The orc allies, the whole point is
Yeah.
you can't tell the ally from the non-ally, and so you got to like search. But you could just go in there and just start killing everybody. It's like, oh shoot, we killed him.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah. They'd have to blend in at least for the beginning of the quest. You're right.
But once you've saved them or whatever, yeah, you could have a unique figure. Although that's where Ribby's remarkable rims would come in, because then you could just slap the rim on the special orc.
Mm.
I know when when
And
it first came out, people were saying, "Oh, you should use the bard," but it's pretty obvious. Like, oh, the big red guy in the midst of all the green, that's the one. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Bohemius?
that's why is would be very interesting the crossover with Heroescape, because there you don't use them only once, you use it every time if you create an army
HeroScape.
themed HeroQuest.
Yep, and you can get the painted version for extra. I found the thread. I'm gonna link it here in the Twitch chat, the Rantcast Twitch chat. So this thread is by Fane Flynn, who is actually on the list. I remember him from the people we had signed up to do the unboxings because we didn't know what was in the box and we wanted people to know. He did a whole list of the named characters. I'm not sure. Let me just go through real quick. So he's got Rogar's Hall, Game System, New Beginnings, First Light, Forsaken Tunnels, Keller's Keep, Prophecy of Telor, Spirit Queen, Witch Lord, Northlands, Telthrak. Okay, he does have. Okay, so I'm just reading right off his list here on Yielden. Crypt of Perpetual Darkness. You've got. Do I need to do a spoiler warning here? Spoilers. Rats and Vander the Elf. Swamp Hag. Boob Heals Ya. No laughing, please. Okay, King Ar- Arcala- Arcalanans. See, I stumbled over these names when I was running the quest too. There's a dwarf mummy, Kedrick Gilbane, and then of course Venom, the dragon. So out of those, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potential characters. I mean, the rats you're supposed to use the plastic rats. If you had First Light, you could use the cardboard rats. But you've got a prisoner, a sorceress, a goblin queen, a couple mummies, a death knight, which could just be a chaos warrior, and then the dragon. So it's not very many. It's not very many characters. But I mean, I was thinking like you could repurpose I think I said this on another stream. I feel like I'm repeating myself. You could repurpose the mythic figures in this way. You could say, okay, the prisoner is the elf because he's the prisoner as well. The sorceress is just like the witch lord, um, or the goblin queen could just be like one of the goblins. The mummy could be just a mummy. The death knight would be the chaos warrior, and the dragon is the dragon. But yeah, it'd be cool to have something unique. But you could do it in another color. That's something you could do. I don't know. You could have a dwarf, an undead colored dwarf. Kind of weird, but you could do it. With the other retail releases, you had. I mean, the Bard was still red, but it was like a kind of a shiny silvery red. So that's how they did that. So technically everything had changed. Like every little bit of everything had changed. Every card was the wording was different, the maps were in a different color, the text was reformatted. The miniatures were all the same sculpts, but they were just different colors. I wonder if we'll get colorful dice. But I suppose a lot of that depends on what else is in the box. because the
What
spaces.
color too?
Yeah, what color? Because I can imagine a green dragon, right? Just like because that's when the artwork it's green, but the figure was gray. And if it was translucent, like what would it be? We've already gotten green, so would it be green again?
Smoke?
Another shade of green, smoky gray.
Hmm.
Would it be like silvery gray, like the first light dragon? Could be something totally different. Well, have we beat that topic to death? Any other thoughts?
No, it's exciting news though. 'Cause
Yeah.
waiting for the dice. We still haven't heard an official, announcement on the first light dice. So I guess that's next.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't hear much about that. So the fan roll dice, which I'm still kind of on. I mean, if it was a wide release product, I guess I wouldn't complain. I might even buy some. But when I hear it's limited, I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. So fan roll first
I,
light
I
dice.
wanted to talk about the date of the release, because with that data, okay, we can actually guess better when Wizard of Morta is going to be released, when it's going to be um, announced.
Well, here it says the dice April, but I mean, it's coming up pretty fast.
No, 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 I'm talking about,
Yeah. Anyway, onto
not talking about the dice. I know.
Wizards of Morcar.
I don't know. They go over my head. The dice really, and I I don't know. I think is an extra thing they could have just included in the boxes,
Well,
but
they
it's
keep the
fine.
cost
It's fine.
down, but I mean, yeah, they charge you
Hmm.
$35 for dice,
Yes, exactly.
fancy tin, and everything.
Yeah.
Like a luxury item, more of a.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Oh man, I think we should probably save that for another rant cast. But then there's that whole question of like with tariffs and stuff, is this going to impact like certain things that they're creating, and is this going to be offloaded onto collectors? I know that nothing has been said in the context of HeroQuest about that. It's only been said about Transformers. Like they had Chris Cox in an interview, he was saying, "Oh, we'll just raise prices on the collectors, and that'll be fine." And some people didn't take that very well. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, a lot of that stuff is just kind of up in the air, and nobody really knows. They just kind of say stuff until it actually happens. What about? I want to. I know we want to guess. Okay, let's talk about Wizards of Morcar next, because that's definitely what we're all wondering about. So, Bohemius, what's your prediction about when it comes out?
Well, no, it's just saying that, if the schedule is the same, okay. Now we have the 1st of July as a date. Okay. If we have to keep the old schedule that we have, the one leaked, that means the Wizard of Mortar will be presented in GenCon. Okay,
Hmm.
and is going that yes, and he's going to be. That's why it is interesting, because you guys are going.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be released in January 2026. Okay, or at the end of the year, hoping. Okay, depend on the production they have. So it would be nice uh, to have before Christmas, and it doesn't end up like First Light this year. They didn't make it.
Yeah. They always miss it.
So yes, so that is the interesting part. So you guys maybe you're going to report on Wizard of Morca in Gen Con.
Yep. I wonder if what form that will take. Will it just be, oh, and by the way, what's some more cars coming out? Like, what? Wait, what? Doug? And he quickly gets into his car and off he goes. It's like he's left the convention. No, leave us hanging like.
Because Crypta is going to be presented probably in Bologna,
Oh yes.
and because it's going to be released in July, 1st of July. So after that,
It'll be already out.
they need to. Mhm. If they keep the old schedule, after they release something, they start already showing us the next product. Okay, just a month after, and a month after is just August, and August is GenCon.
Plans change
So
quickly.
yeah, if they keep the old schedule, I hope they go back to the old schedule because they did 6 months of marketing for First Light.
Yeah, it's a lot of marketing.
That's it, and we
And
got to play First Light at Gen Con, but you couldn't buy it, but we got to play it. So
Yeah, so I mean, if we got to see it, I mean, yeah, if they're still playing Crypto Perpetual Darkness, that's fine, And if they were showing Wizards of Morcar, or if we got to play it, even better. But yeah, it's like if you don't get to buy it, then we want to play it. If we didn't get to play it, at least we can demo it. If we didn't demo it, at least we can see it. If we didn't see it, at least we get it announced. Something. Preview. But I mean, that's how it was last year. They had the previews, I guess, of the events, and it was like, okay, first they're gonna do a panel and talk about the new expansion. Oh, just kidding. You're gonna get to play it. So it definitely changed.
if you're lucky, maybe they even had a new hero collection. There is part of that old schedule.
Oh yeah, a new hero. So
Who knows which kind of hero is going to be?
yeah,
That one is completely is very mysterious.
okay, so there's some footage from a past stream that we did from Joe's quest book, and yes, we did poke some good-natured fun at him, but it was done in a loving way, let's say. Yeah. Okay, so maybe yeah, time will tell. We'll see more of these things, and it'll be all right. We'll know more by then. Well, I like the fact that there are these other conventions. So yeah, you can't possibly go to all of them. Well, maybe somebody could, but yeah, I won't be in Bologna. I wasn't in Cannes. I won't be in the UK. But I will be at Gen Con. So whoever is at those other conventions can just tell us what you find out. Cannes was kind of a bust. We didn't really, I mean, it was First Light again, which I get it. They had to release it. I mean, it's released across Europe. It's as far as I know at this point, isn't it? It's just Spain that doesn't have it yet. I'm trying to think because there was Germany,
Italy,
Italy still waiting.
Italy, Italy, they are going to wait until November or December.
Oh shoot, that's a while.
Yes, it's
Even Australia has it already.
totally crazy.
Yeah.
are we getting any reviews in on it, or what are people that they liking it? Is it strong or?
One of the Australian people commented, he said the plastic felt cheaper than other expansions. I wasn't quite sure if like I feel like they used a stiffer kind of plastic for the miniatures in Jungles of Delthrak. I don't know if I'd consider that cheap, but I thought that was similar with First Light. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, country by country, maybe they use different formulations, and maybe it is that way. I mean, I know the game system miniatures are really bendy. Like the figures, the character figures are really bendy. The furniture is more stiff. But I'm not really knowledgeable on all those types of plastics. Like I couldn't tell you exactly what it is. That's all I've
Well,
heard. The dice is red.
how about the
Like,
quest? Like, is it a good story?
well, I mean, are you asking us or like what other people are
Oh
saying?
well, or just have you heard anything, or what are people liking it?
I think it's been generally positive. I think that.
Mm.
What did you think, Bohemius? Go ahead.
Then I can add at least because in Italy they're going to have the game in November. So, but they are having they have the app, and the app is translated. So they're playing on the app. Everybody is happy, okay, and everybody is a little like concerned because it's more difficult than the normal game.
There's a little bit of distortion
Okay,
in the back of your mic there, Bohemius. I can hear what you're saying, but I just want
can,
to let you know.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
It just
Oh yeah,
okay.
it's perfect. Yeah.
Just fix the jack of
Ah,
the mic.
it was jacked out.
Okay.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah,
So
you could if you already have the game system in the app, you can play First Light. I mean, it'll be a little weird in the caverns, but otherwise, yeah, the miniatures are the same.
yes,
Fair point.
but they're playing directly on the app. So they have a stream where they actually instead of having the board, they just use the app in this way is easier.
Hmm.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
See, you
yeah.
don't have a problem. You don't need a camera. You just cast the video of the app directly
Oh yeah. We did
on the
that.
screen.
We did a couple of
Mm.
early games with that. It's kind of a weird way to play. It's not really what they intended, but it's perfectly possible. The only thing you don't get are the dice rolls and the card draws. But
If, yes, but if you think the material is exactly the same of the starter set, so you can do it.
mhm,
So you don't need extras. What do you need? You don't even need the miniatures because you are casting
right.
on the screen, the app, and you have the deck of cards, the dice, and all the rules for the basic characters.
Yep.
So you don't need anything else. Yes, no, they are a little concerned for the new generation. Okay, because these boxes contain 10 quests that are tough. They're not easy.
They're challenging. Yeah.
Hmm.
I've only played the first quest. I've looked over some of the other excuse me, some of the other quests. Other than the final adventure though, I didn't really notice anything really tough, but that can be a little deceptive. I mean, I looked over I almost said Return of the Witch Lord, Rise of the Dread Moon, and some of that stuff it doesn't really hit you how tough it is until you actually play it. Then you're like, "Oh, wait a minute. This can happen and this can happen." Whereas other times, you'll read something and go, "Oh man, this is going to be super hard," and then everybody gets really lucky rolls and it doesn't matter, or people just avoid the room that was going to be certain death. Sometimes stuff like that happens. So people are finding it's more challenging. So the question is it so challenging it's going to scare people away? Because the thing you always hear about classic Hero Quest is people play the quests and they get all nostalgic, but then they say, "Oh man, they're boring and they're too easy," and because when they're playing them as a grown up, like with their strategic experience already, and thinking, "Oh yeah, this can't phase me." But some brand new kid gets First Light and plays it, and it's just like, "Whoa, this is hard." Whereas normally it's like you play the easy quests first, you get a feel for it, you want more, then you buy the expansion, which throws the kitchen sink at you. I don't know. I it's definitely not as extreme as like going right to the frozen horror.
No, 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 no. What I believe is more challenging is the new map because they're all corridors. Okay, full
Oh,
of traps and stuff like this, and yes.
caverns are treacherous. Yeah.
These treasures, you have a lot of way to split the group, uh, get ambush. So it's
Well, see, Avalon
yeah,
Hill loves that stuff. They're just like they love like thwarting like our old strategies. Like, but a brand new player is not going to be necessarily like wedded to those strategies that worked for 30 years. They're going to be like, oh yeah, we have to do something different in this quest. It's not working anymore. We have to change it up. So maybe that would be more of a threat to us because we're like, this isn't HeroQuest as I remember it. Although I don't know. I always expect that when I play a new quest, it's going to have a new gimmick. Like that's always my thing. It's like, okay, what are they going to spring on us this time? What's the new thing going to be? What's the trick? What's the catch this time? Oh, this time it's dark, or this time the monsters respawn, or this time, I don't know, whatever. We can lose mind points. Like there's going to be something. Teleporting doors. So, oh, okay, fine. We're stuck in corridors. That kind of sucks, but we'll make it through. We'll do what we can. And then we get to the next quest. It's like, oh, we're not in the caverns. Oh, phew. Like that's like I could imagine me doing it. But yeah, hopefully people are flexible enough that they don't get scared off. I don't know. I don't think it'll be a problem. But I guess you won't find out until you play, until you sit down. Can an eighth grader survive this, or a fifth grader?
Yeah, with the little experience I had with my nephews, they run away from the monster. They don't want to kill them. They try to to survive in that way. Wait a second. you, you see, there's a mommy that is chasing you. If he touch you, it's going to hurt you.
You got a
No,
sword. You gotta
they're
fight
running.
back. Be
You
brave.
got, you gotta
You're
fight.
heroes.
They're running.
It's like, look, you're not playing as yourself. You're playing as this mighty hero who had something to prove. Yeah, hero in training. Well, anyway, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes things throw you for a loop. I remember the first stealth quest that we played in Rise of the Dread Moon. Like, I took it a little farther than the writers intended, I think. But at a certain point, it was like the whole party was just like, okay, we're just like being herded to the other side of the board by this growing army of suspicious monsters that's following us. It's like no combat is happening. We're just like we're running away basically. And then at a certain point it's like, okay, we're gonna have to turn and fight. Like here goes. It's going down. So I mean it was cool because we hadn't really experienced anything like that before in a quest. I mean, yes, if it was that way every quest, it would get pretty stale. But it sort of forced everybody to kind of think differently, and it was still fun. Well, what about Wizards of Morcar? I guess there's a lot more speculation, a lot more guesswork. Any ideas of what you think those other, let's say they expanded to 5 or to 10 quests, so 5 new quests that never existed before. What do you think those quests might be? I guess it could be anything, right? It could be something totally surprising.
Maybe
What were the original ones about?
Well, the originals were, it was, okay, so Morcar, which is Zargon, his name originally in the European version, he basically just uh, berates his minions for their failures with the ogres and at Keller's Keep and with the Witch Lord and everything, and he basically just wipes them out and then sends some like new guys to go kill the heroes. But in the actual analysis, the heroes are the ones seeking out these guys. So you go to like the lair of the first wizard and you fight him and kill him. And then you go to the next lair of the next wizard and you find him and kill him. And so you've killed all of them. And it's like, oh, just kidding. He brought them back to life. And now you got to fight all of them at the same time. And so they're just running around. And a little bit of a spoiler, because I remember Chris Nato said this in Carmine. He was saying, like, originally we were thinking of having a monster who could open doors. And then we thought, that's probably too much. But I haven't totally given up on that idea. Well, as it turns out, they can open doors and activate rooms. So there's that. But yeah, the last level is just a boss rush, as we used to call it in the old arcade days, where you fight all the wizards and they've got all their spells. But that's basically it. I mean, I don't even think there's an ending. It's just kind of like, well, you won. It's very bare bones. It feels like they kind of just cranked it out and there is definitely not as much nostalgia about it. I mean, it's definitely a collector's item, but people talk about it as it's a pile of potential as opposed to like a well-written, finely, crafted story and quest. So, I mean, some of the suggestions were, well, maybe these extra quests will be like against the Ogre Horde, where they made a whole new game mode that has really nothing to do with the rest of it, except, well, in that one, it was like, okay, you're meeting ogres that are not necessarily bad. They're showing that you could hire them as mercenaries. Oh, they're showing that maybe they could help you out in later quests, that kind of thing. So it sort of has a connection. So what would it be with the Wizards of Morcar? I don't know. It might, but I mean, it might be a totally different mode, totally new way to play. Or people said, well, solo quests. Maybe there'll be some solo quests. Of course, it seemed like they were moving away from that. I mean, Doug didn't seem too hot on the idea of solo quests. He's like, I'd rather level up or gear up a group of heroes at once. Seems to make more sense. Because why would you exclude people from the table, and so on? Another suggestion was, well, maybe it'll just be like, yeah, it'll be filler. It'll be like, okay, so instead of taking one quest to find the guy, you take 2 quests to find him. I don't know. Oh, Jacer's got some comments. He says, crossbow quest. To be fair, we also didn't know if we could get another disguise later on. Oh, yeah, talking about Rise of the Dread Moon. Yeah, henchman quests. Well, that's the thing. Whenever they release something new, it's such a treat for us veteran players because we don't have any memories of this. It's like, I have no memory of this place. We can't go, oh yeah, this isn't this the one where we gotta like do the thing, from maybe we read it years ago. It's something totally new. Henchmen quests, beat them to unlock them. I don't know. What do you guys think of that idea? Jacer had this suggestion. So in Wizards of Morcar, in the European releases, this was the first one where you got henchmen. You had mercenaries. They were red plastic. They had interchangeable weapons, just like the Frozen Horror ones, except there was a lot more of them. They were a little more fragile, but you could just hire them with your gold and go out to fight. But what if in the quests, similar to Rise of the Dread Moon. So in Rise of the Dread Moon, there were only 4 mercenaries, like 4 total, and they were really good mercenaries too. But you had to unlock them as you went. So you accomplish certain things within the quest, and it's like, oh, now you have this mercenary to use. So in the future, you can hire him. So those extra quests could be ways for you to unlock them, maybe. Because 5 quests is pretty short.
Maybe the okay, still referring to the old leaks. They said 3 3 solo quests and 2 end quests, but the solo quest, we already discussed, I believe, they could do something that is a solo quest, but not for a specific character, but for different characters. It can be done for everybody, or it could be structured like the maze, like where everybody participates in the same game, but they're like separated. They all start separated, and they have to rush for a common goal.
Competitive.
It could be played like competitive, or it could be played cooperative. Try to together to the job, but it's to do a multiple way to arrive to the end.
Yeah.
Hmm.
These images are from Board Game Geek, by the way. This is the classic.
Yeah.
I don't know if you call it a classic, but the classic era Wizards of Morcar. There's the Les Edwards cover art. Some painted.
Yeah. Yeah, mercenary. I'm not sure they're going to do this mercenary. It's possible that they are going to release different mercenaries with different abilities.
I'd be okay with that. I just want them to be
Imagine
red. I don't want them to be
a
gray.
mercenary, an assassin, for example, a wizard apprentice.
There you go.
Somebody can use spells.
Yeah, we don't have our Wizard Quest pack yet, but some of those ideas you mentioned are used there because, yeah, a hireable spellcaster is not something we've had
Hmm.
before officially in the new HeroQuest. So that could be a way to do that. It could be an opportunity anyway.
Yes.
Or they could just give us just the same mercenaries we've got, just in a different color plastic and more of them. I mean, that would be the easy way to do it.
Yes. Or like they did with Rise of the Dread Moon, completely different sculpt, but exactly the same abilities.
Yeah. Although, to be fair, with Rise of the Dread Moon, as Carmine said, pay attention to what it says and what it doesn't say. Because technically, those mercenaries are better. They're more powerful than the other ones because they can use items, whereas the other ones, they can't. Like, remember, they have the general rule now is if you have these hirelings, whether they're animal companions or mercenaries or whatever, you can just hand a potion to them and they just use it immediately. Or you could cast a spell on them, I suppose. But they're not like heroes where you could like say, oh yeah, I'm gonna hand him some armor and he can put it on, or I'm gonna give him a weapon and he can use it. I'm gonna give him a spell scroll or a potion and he can use it whenever he wants. Whereas in theory, you could apply that to other types of mercenaries. If you look at the companion app, and I know the companion app is not the end all be all because it has some weird stuff in it, but pay attention to when you get an ally, an NPC, and pay attention to what it allows you to do. They goofed it up in the app because they didn't let you use items as the elven mercenaries. But according to the booklet, it doesn't say they're restricted like that. Whereas you read that same paragraph for the human mercenaries, and they are restricted. But like the orc allies, I think they can do everything. Sir Ragnar can do everything except attack. So, I mean, he could use potions and spell scrolls. I mean, if you had any at that point, which you probably don't. But yeah, they could do little subtle things like that if they wanted to. And of course, it's always Zargon's say anyway at the table, right? So if he thinks, oh, this is not working for us, you can just change it. But giving you a little bit of flexibility is a nice thing. Could be. Anybody else have a comment on that? If not, I'm going to
I
move on
just
to
hope
another.
it's a big expansion, a big box expansion.
Box.
That's all.
Well, I got the impression it was going to be. I mean, some of those early store displays or storefront listings, I should say. I mean, because they didn't have any pictures or anything, just placeholder text. The prices were different, so it made me think, okay, it's more expensive than COPD, so it's probably a bigger box expansion.
Lots of plastic. Oh
Lots
yeah.
of plastic, yeah. Well, you think about it, 12 or even 24. I mean, if they don't bring back the bolt-on weapons, it's probably gonna be 24 mercenaries, and then 4 wizards. So right there, you've got a pretty big box, right? Even if you had nothing else.
Yeah, like against the Overlord,
Hmm.
they had to do a big box. They had to fit on the shelf by the side, by his side. So
The wizards will be giants. They'll all take up 2 squares.
yeah, I'm very curious to see the sculpt they're going to do.
Well, several people have said this. They've said, oh, one of the wizards will be a female, just to shake it up. But I'm just like, well, I mean, Frozen Horror, you didn't get any female monsters, right? But I mean, it's like that was the trend. It's like you get mostly male monsters, but then you get a few female monsters. Although Frozen Horror gave us male and female mercenaries, whereas originally they were just all guys. So I mean, they could do that. Whereas then my suggestion was we'll just swap it the other way. So all the ones that were female before are male, and vice versa. So you can mix and match. You could have the couple with their halberdiers on a date or whatever. I'm getting silly, but yeah. But it would cost more to make the new sculpts, so there's that.
Yes, but it is a big box, and they're
Plenty of
going
room.
to invest on it.
Yeah, so plenty of room. So maybe we'd get new dice. Maybe we'd get. I mean, everybody's hoping that they'll tweak the spells, right? Because there were some fears that from the European to the North American, it's like, okay, these spells feel kind of underpowered. The hero spells, especially. Most of the bad guy spells are still pretty powerful, but some of them, they might change the names because they've been doing that. Like, they have this aversion to having two spells that are different, having the same name, or two potions or two items that look too similar. And I guess that's for people that mix everything together. So you're like, okay, is this the potion of speed or is this the other potion of speed? Is this the you know, is this the rust spell or the rust spell? So I don't know. Maybe they would change the name. Mind burst instead of mind blast. But I hope they change as little of that. I mean, I hope they retain as much of the spirit of it as they can. I mean, we've talked already about Morcar. Like, is Morcar just going to be another name for Zargon, or is it going to be something else entirely? Is it not going to be explained? I don't know. Anybody have any new opinions on that? Is it just going to be, oh, it was Zargon all along, or oh no, it's this new wizard you just never heard of? But European fans
Is
will
the
know.
real Ray is the real name of Ragnar.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun. Yeah, he betrayed us because he was actually Morcar,
His true power.
a high general of the
Oh yeah,
Dark Order.
Morcar and Morcar's general, as it says in the original text.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You
Well,
think they'll bring Stephen Baker back for it? Finish it up,
that would
pull it
be
out.
that would be super interesting because I don't think he had anything to do with the original. I think he had already left. Or no, wait, remembering that wrong? Because he left Milton Bradley in '92.
Oh, okay. I was looking at the thing there where it says Wizards. It says designer Stephen Baker,
Yeah, it
but
does. It does. So I think that's a mistake. According to the most recent interview, the text interview, he said that he didn't work on it. I think
oh, okay.
he designed the game system, and I know there's some controversy saying, well, Games Workshop had more of a role in that, but I mean, the original concept of HeroQuest was Stephen Baker, and the quests, the 15 quests of the original, he wrote, and he wrote Keller's Keep, Return of the Witch Lord. He was an advisor for Against the Ogre Horde. I'm already forgetting about Dark Company. I think by Dark Company he was already gone. So pretty much everything else after that was other people. He did meet with Mike Gray, who was the lead guy for the North American team, and they talked and stuff. But Mike Gray's team did all that, did the North American expansions. Yes, based on the drafts from the previous group, but I mean, they did their own thing. And when they were creating the new hero packs, they consulted the old, like they had photocopies of Wizards of Morcar when they were working on the Wizard Quest pack, and Against the Ogre Horde when they were working on the Dwarf pack, and so forth. But yeah, it's like what of Stephen Baker's work is in there? I don't know, other than the concept of HeroQuest. So
Okay.
yeah, but you could check yeoldin.com. Actually, why don't I do that now instead of just talking about it? But bringing him back and having him write those quests, I mean, there'd be nothing wrong with that. So like half the quests would be, yeah, it'd be like as if he got to work on the one that he never worked on, like made a contribution. Well, here's what I would have done. I mean, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. Those are the guys from that did Jungles. They did a really good job too.
Yeah, Levi, I don't remember his full name, and I never got to meet
Combs, Combs, I think.
Levi Combs.
Levi Combs,
That sounds right.
I think. But yeah, they could do something interesting.
Yeah. Well, and I get the sense. I mean, the more I talk to these people, the more I learn about it. It seems like there's basically a writing group. It's not. I mean, one person, like a person, actually writes the quests. Like, here's quest one, here's quest two, here's quest three, and not everything that is in the book. Like, some of it is left on the cutting room floor, right? There's editors that go in and like edit the stuff, but they also submit ideas. So it's not just like, oh yeah, you misspelled that word. It's like, oh well, what if instead of this you did this other thing? And then they talk about it, and then some of those changes go in there. And then you've got Doug writing the rules. But I think even with that, like, yeah, he's writing rules, he's selecting designs, but he's also hiring, freelance artists to like create the artwork for the character, and that could influence what they do too. And so there's this give and take between all these different departments. And I'm sure, as talented as Doug is, he isn't doing 100% of it himself. There's people that are testing things and going, this isn't working, and so he's going in and changing it, or whatever. So even though we say like one person's name as the author, there's still a lot of other people that contributed. It's like a collaborative effort, even though they have a fairly small team, as we know, right? Well, and we saw that they brought in those guest writers. I mean, Joe Manganiello was one, um, and Teo Sabadia, and the great Stephen Baker. But yeah, I like his stuff. He seems to be just as passionate about it as he ever was, and so it's always cool to see that. So I think I've located it, and I'm gonna just
But
share
they
this up here.
they already contact him and he already work on First Flight 2. So
Yeah,
we're not going to lose him.
yeah,
He's with
right.
us.
Well, and I keep going back to the thing off. Well, it wasn't really off the record, but I mean it wasn't recorded. That Craig Von Ness said to me, which was, when you're a designer who's been in the business as long as he has, you don't take it personally when they don't use all your ideas. Sometimes you spend a lot of effort on something and it just has to go back on the shelf, and maybe it'll stay there for years. But the great thing is he saves all his stuff, and when the opportunity comes up, it's like, you know what? It might be time to dust this off. Maybe I can use this now. Like, maybe now's the time. So I'm sure guys like Stephen Baker and Doug and all these people, like, they have their little pile or their little shelf with things that they can use. So I would love to see those quests that he wrote, but for all we know, they might never come out. Or they might have deliberately told us about that because they wanted us to be thinking about it, because they do have plans for those to come out. That's the other thing to think about. It's like everything is a calculation, I figure. Because, yeah, okay, once these guys are retired and they're not even part of the industry anymore, okay, fine. I guess they can say whatever they want. But now I kind of feel like they're still on company time, so to speak. So they're not just going to say random things. They're going to say stuff that is calculated to get us to think about it, right? Otherwise, they're just not going to say it, because why tell us about something we're never going to get? I mean, I guess we're interested in that sort of thing, but the general public isn't. The general public wants to know, okay, what am I getting? What do I get to buy? What's actually coming out?
Uh, no, 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 no. Of course, all this stuff is for the people that follow, like us, the general public. Pro-
They don't even
Even
know.
if you talk for months about the same stuff, they will never get it. Oh, what is this First Light?
Yeah, yeah.
We've been talking for
It's fresh.
one
Yeah,
year.
it's always fresh. Well, another thing that I guess there is a value in the cutting room floor stuff, because if you come up to me and say, "Hey, I know you played Frozen Horror, but did you know there was a potion that was unused?" Like, really? What did it do? Well, it lets you pick up a monster and throw them across the room. And we're like, "Oh, that's really cool." Well, guess what? Now that you've told me that, I can make a quest and put a potion in there that does that, right? I don't have to buy anything. It doesn't matter if it doesn't exist. I can just, using my imagination and the inspiration you just gave me, like, create it. So for that reason, I love it when they tell me this stuff. But I could understand somebody else hearing it and go, "Oh shoot, so you had this whole thing planned out and it's just I'd never get to buy it." Well, thanks for nothing. So, but I still think they I mean, a lot of these guys, they have to screen the questions. Like, I wanted to interview Stephen Baker myself, I really did, but I submitted a bunch of questions and they basically shot down half of them. It's like, no, we can't talk about this. We can't talk about this. Nope, nope, can't talk about this. And so what was left was very, very small. I was kind of disappointed. But then I thought to myself, the kind of questions that are left are the questions that have really already been answered. Like, he's done interviews where he's answered these questions for other people. So at that point, it's just kind of a vanity thing. Like, oh, I just want him to tell me the same thing he's told everybody else. So, but is that really interesting for fans to read? Maybe not. Let me just share this part here. So instead of relying on my memory, so this is the Stephen Baker interview that his Bizargon posted January 28th. So it's actually from 2023. So Rafael Vikingo, the blogger, and his Bizargon, and Cristobal of LaGuardia de Morcar on YouTube. They constructed this interview, and we went into a lot of history. It's worth rereading, actually. Okay, so Rev says, and coming back to Mr. Gray, some time ago there was evidence of some internal notes between Mike Gray and the designers related to the Dwarf Quest and the Wizard Quest expansion packs in the US. Unfortunately, these two quest packs were never released. Are you aware of the existence of these notes? Do you know what happened? Do you know if Against the Ogre Horde and Wizards of Morcar were originally intended to be the Dwarf Quest and the Wizard Quest packs? And then Stephen Baker says, I have not seen any notes. I do know that two other quests were developed and ready. The two expansions you mentioned, Against the Ogre Horde, the Wizards of Morcar, were developed in Europe. In the European line, we never planned for solo quests. As mentioned above, elements of these expansions were used in US developed items. He goes on to say, oh, no, sorry. I was looking for something else in here. I thought he said more about it. Like he was saying, like which expansions he worked on back in the day. Okay, well, sorry. I guess I'll have to find it again.
Yeah,
Does
I
anybody
don't
know what I'm
remember
talking
in
about?
which interview. Yes, I understand, but I don't remember in which interview.
Yeah, because he's done multiple.
Yeah.
Oh, Dark Company. Here. He's okay. So Rev says, how about the Dark Company quest? Were you involved? Stephen Baker. I wrote this after leaving Hasbro in 1992. Hasbro wanted a bonus mega quest to put into a new versions of the HeroQuest game. This was confusingly called the Advanced Quest Edition, even though it had nothing to do with Advanced HeroQuest. I had no part in Advanced HeroQuest. This was developed entirely by the Games Workshop team. Yeah, so it's pretty long, but I mean a lot of nerdy questions if you if you really get down to it. But it's nice because there's a lot of things that we wondered about. You know, people we argued over. It's like, well, no, it must have been this. So not every HeroQuest product had Stephen Baker's uh, mark on it.
What is that mega quest that he's referring to? I've seen that before,
Yeah,
and it does look similar to Advanced Hero Quest, but it's obviously different.
yeah. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. And that's another one of those things. Like there's all these one-offs and small little things that maybe a lot of people don't know about, except people who lived through it, which they could re-release as more material. But basically, the thing was in 1992. So in Europe, you had the first edition, right? The first edition of HeroQuest 89 game system. It wasn't called the game system then; it was just HeroQuest. And then they had the second edition the next year, which was revised. The rules were revised. And then they didn't really have a third edition in Europe. It was just the second edition again, but it was called Advanced Quest Edition. And it had the second edition stuff, but then it also had what I'm about to show you here. This is a scan. It's not going to be perfect, but let's see. Let's get the PDF viewer again.
I'm pretty sure I saw there's someone on eBay selling a complete copy for like 300.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
It almost looks like the original Hero Quest, but it says the Advanced Quest on the top or something, if I'm correct.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's that one.
this is what it is. So you see, you've got Doomguard, you've got Dark Company. The plot is kind of interesting. It's about these knights that turn traitor. And it's a poster that's folded to look like a book. See, you've got these color-coded spoilers. You got these color-coded sections. It's like you start. So I'll just show you.
It's the plot. It's the plot of Rise of the Dread Moon. Psst, psst.
You've got you go to one edge of the board. See, some people see this and they think that you need 4 copies of the game to play. Not true. It's one board. You clear the board and then you reset it. So if you go off the edge of the board, like everybody exits through the exit door, you clear the board and then you put the other one up. Right? And you just go back and forth, back and forth. And the goal is you got to wipe out these certain guys, and then that's how you win. So Phoenix did a conversion of this to the North American rules, but it's frankly, I think it's hard to read because he doesn't use the color coding. I think this explains it much better. Now, I've totally spoiled it for you, but yeah, they could re-release that. It would take a lot of work, but you can kind of if even if we didn't have proof, I mean, it does sort of feel like a Stephen Baker thing because there's a lot of like lore stuff. There's a lot of like flavor text. Like you walk into the room and then this mysterious thing happens. You read the little text to the heroes. There's some little gimmick happens in each room. It uses more furniture than you actually have. So there's some places where it's like, okay, and there's another bookcase, so you just reuse it. But I mean, nothing really changes. It's just scenery. But because of that, people have commented, well, you actually need 2.5 sets to be able to actually play it correctly. So would they change that, or would they just say, yeah, people have figured out, who cares? They use the mercenary figures, the same mercenary figures that are in Wizards of Morcar are in the Dark Company. So in that sense, there are new miniatures in the box. They're just those red mercenary figures, but they're all bad guys. They're just used as these evil knights. And these are the guys where if they roll even one black shield, they block all skulls, which people complain about. Now they only have 1 body point, but it's like, okay, so we got to kill them with magic. Like that's what you do. But you don't have enough magic to kill them all, right? But you can also find these shrines where you have a chance to get your spells back, like recharge your spells. So, it's kind of an interesting.
Rise of the Dread Moon.
Yeah. So, yeah, as you can see,
No,
ideas.
I believe Rise of the Red Moon is what they want. Is like reimagined. How is it called?
Oh,
It's called that.
we're losing you.
Okay.
Oh,
How's it called?
that's better.
The expansion we're talking about. I have like a blank. A second. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there's just some like crackling distortion in the background as you talk.
Okay, how is it called? How is it called? The expansion we're talking about.
Uh,
The
yeah, it's HeroQuest Advanced Quest Edition, and the content is
yes, but
the Dark Company. The Dark Company.
the Dark Company. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, because I in my head it was the Italian name. Sorry.
Oh,
If you look at the plot and everything, is Rise of the Red Moon. Okay, they just didn't use the 4 boards because it was a complex thing to do. But it's the same. You have a Magus card. There the Doom Guard. You have the mercenaries. You have a city. You are instead being in in the um, in the capital. Okay, of the humans is in the capital of the elves, but it's exactly the same concept.
hmm.
Okay, they add some little gimmick like the stealth, the camouflage, but at the end, is the Dark Company.
Hmm. I could definitely, now that you mention it, I mean, I've play tested a version of the Dark Company, but like a fan made thing. I can see some similarities now that you mention it. I would say it's a straight up remake, or maybe reimagining is a better term for it. I think Avalon Hill's
Yeah,
definitely done that. They've definitely taken stuff that's not released and drawn some ideas from it and like worked those ideas into new things. Like not everything.
They make it more playable because
Yeah.
like you said, it was difficult passing from a board to another, and you have to rebuild everything. I mean, it's a beautiful concept, okay, but it's not. It's something that you want to change because it didn't work, like let's say the body point of the ogres.
Yeah. Or yeah, maybe it wasn't as received as well as you hoped. I mean, you have 30
Yeah,
years of feedback
yes,
of people complaining about it, so you go, okay, fine, we'll change it. Whereas before they were afraid to change anything because it's like, okay, the fans want it exactly as it was, so we'll just release it as is. But yeah, these other things, it's like, okay, they're taking that feedback and going, yeah, people didn't like this, so let's change it.
and also because in that company you're supposed to be in a city, and you don't feel to be in a city. It feels like you are in a gigantic building. While in Rise of the Red Moon, they give you the feeling that you are in the city. You are interacting with people that live there
Yeah, villagers and
in
refugees and stuff.
the
Yeah.
villages. You have the street. You have the squares. Okay, so the, that's how I see it. Yeah, and the cadre, they made a great job with the cadre because they are the mercenaries
The
of
Raven
the city.
Trail.
That they are.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yes,
Well, in the
but
time.
that is my idea.
Oh yeah, no, I hear it. I hear it, and I'm just conscious of the time here. I think we're getting kind of to the late hour, and I hear you guys getting quieter and quieter. That didn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. Like we're getting towards the end here, I think, and I appreciate y'all being here. One last topic, if we've got the energy for it in the last few minutes here. What do you think? There was that interview with Doug Hopkins where it was kind of hard to follow because the interviewer was basically everything, his questions were edited out. So you just heard Doug's responses. And the audio quality wasn't very good, but I mean, what they tried, and Doug was saying various things. He said some things at Luca as well, where he was talking about like he wants to have a bestiary. He wants to have some type of leveling system. He wants to work on like his wizard's workshop, his alchemist table. And it was like, what is he talking about? Is like he's speaking metaphorically? Is he talking about something that's going to go into an expansion? Do you think though that had anything to do with Wizards of Morcar, or do you think this is him trying to tease us with something future? Because I had some ideas about this, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
My initial thought is that it's a good sign that he's thinking like that, and that he's trying to think of other things, and he doesn't have that there's no like timeline or deadline set, like, oh, why even think if Wizards was the last thing or something,
Hmm.
why would he even think outside of the box for these other ideas? So I think that's a good sign.
Good point. Good point. Angus, what about you?
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, like Rob just said, if Wizards was going to be the last thing, why would he be, saying other things that he wants to try to do? Or it could be, just a classic misdirection.
Yeah, where's that dwarven furniture? We're still waiting for that.
Yeah,
Uh,
really.
yeah, yeah. Well, so many things. Yeah, when Chris Nato was with the company, he would give us those teases, and it's like some of that stuff. It took a long time before we finally saw it. It's like he could be talking about something 18 months in the future, right? And then oh, that's probably what it was. But now that he's no longer with the company, it's like some of the things that he told us about. It's like it might have changed. It might not be the same. But yeah, you would think there's a certain level of confidence. Like if they're going to tell us this stuff, there's a reason. There's a calculation there. Like and yeah, it is a good sign. I think it might not happen in Wizards of Morcar, but they're looking to the future.
Yeah, I kind of miss all those teasers and riddles or whatever that he would give us.
Yeah.
Sometimes enough of us found enough clues that we figured it out, and he's like, yeah, I'm not saying anything else. So,
Well,
we're-
I
go ahead.
yeah. I miss that too. I think we all miss it. And I think Doug is trying to do what he can. And I'm sure they're all, they talk to these guys ahead of time and say, okay, here's the talking points you're allowed to share. Don't say this, or whatever. But it's like, yeah. And then of course, then there's the question of like leaks, like stuff that comes out. We had all those alleged leaks that Cristobal Lucordia de Morcar was reporting on, and there's still a possibility that some of that stuff could happen, right? I mean, maybe not in the way we think of, but it's out there. So it could have been misdirection, or it could have been, yeah, it's just a snippet. We're just seeing it out of context, so we don't necessarily know where it fits in. So it's all fodder for
Uh,
speculation.
we're almost at the end of those league. Anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
talking away about Doug, what he said.
Hmm.
Uh, the whatever he was talking about anyway, he need to because he's a developer. Okay, so he's preparing the game. When he's in an interview, he need to talk about the stuff that he's doing, that he's planning. Okay, he cannot just put ideas that then create a false expectation. So I'm pretty sure that he's working on those
Hmm.
things that he listed.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Um,
Yeah, he's in a different position than Chris was. Chris was a project leader, whereas Doug is a designer. So yeah,
yeah,
and when I tried to interview him, it's like I wanted to ask him all these Chris questions, and he's like, "These are Chris questions." Like I'm Doug. Like I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I don't have control of that, but I can talk about this because that's what I'm doing, and I'd like to share it. And it's like okay, so you go down that different rabbit hole.
but he shared it. Okay,
Mhm.
they actually didn't ask for it. He was sharing.
Yeah. So they may have given
Okay,
him some bullet
so
points saying, "Look, you can tell him this."
yes,
Right.
yes, they interrupted him while he was saying something about the leveling system. I just mentioned it. Didn't I was so angry.
Well, what if before
Interrupt.
the camera was rolling, he's like, "Look, I'm going to start talking about the leveling system. I want you to interrupt me so that it's not my fault." No, I don't know. That's a conspiracy. Do, 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 do. Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, there, yes, he said a lot of stuff. Okay, he said also there's no plan on changing the wizard because the wizard is good like it is. So
Yes.
who knows?
Oh, because it was in the
So,
context
but
of like the berserker is like a version of the barbarian, the explorer is a version of the dwarf. So are they going to do
yeah,
another version of the wizard?
for
Then
the elf or for the wizard, they're going to
yeah, the
do
elf.
a similar.
Yeah.
Okay, the plays in a different, slightly different, but not exactly the same.
Although you could say
But he's what he.
the Mage of the Mirror elf is, I mean, you can use different spells. That makes the elf different. But yeah, he doesn't have different
Yes.
stats or equipment.
So we can say also the elf is already okay. Okay, already have his own optional way to be played, but the wizard is the last one. So
He needs to save his gold because why?
because why?
Because he likes gold. Well, because originally it said
Because you like
he needs to save his gold because there's going to be powerful magical items that only he can use, which will be available in future expansions. And we never got
Now
it.
it's supposed to be
mhm.
more car, right?
Well, no, it was
Yeah,
actually supposed to be the Wizard Quest pack, which we never got. The wizard was going to be able to buy special things, um, but I mean, they deleted the text from the modern verse, so it just says the wizard needs to save his gold, or it'd be wise for him to save his gold. I'm just like, but why? I mean, I guess to buy potions, to hire mercenaries, but like that's
yeah,
true of any
it would
hero.
be nice if they give like extra spells that you have to buy. like any weapon, any piece of armor, you buy the extra spell, so you can
Well,
use it during the game.
isn't that what the Amiga game, Legacy of Sorasil? Isn't that how it works? Like you go to shops and you can buy spell scrolls, and that's how you get your magic. I haven't played the computer game, but I've
I
read.
never play it. So.
But I think, I mean, because I think when I first heard about spell scrolls, back when Keller's Keep Return of the Witch Lord came to the U.S., like the original version didn't have those, and it was just like, oh, I don't like this. Like at first I thought I didn't like this idea because it's like the wizard and the elf are the magical users. The other heroes fight, and so why should they get magic? That seems like you're crossing the boundary, and they're not as unique. But then I didn't think about it in terms of, well, now you could have like two ball of flames to use in the quest, or yeah, you're the barbarian, you never get to cast any spells. Oh, finally I get a chance to throw a tempest at somebody, but it's just a one-time thing, because the other guy's hogging the spells. So I mean, it had a utility. But yeah, if you could buy spell scrolls instead of having to find them, because they're so rare, they're super rare. Of course, you're gonna have heroes that have like so much gold, but yeah,
Yes,
that could be something.
yes, and they maybe thought they want to do stuff for the wizard to buy. I don't know, but uh, we're going to see in Wizard Marker. Let's
Borin's
see this
cloak of
new.
power. See what's on.
Mhm. Yes, it really seems like they're going to reintroduce a new character there. So I don't think they were going to see actually the wizard as a resculpt, because exactly for that in that interview I talk about a new character. They use spell in a different way, so
Well,
we're going to
with
see.
you had, I mean, in Legacy of Sorcel once again, and we haven't gotten any of these, but they had the cleric, the paladin, the mystic, and the ranger. Those could be all ideas. Now there's also the female wizard. Like we haven't gotten a retail female wizard yet. So maybe they would give us the mythic sculpt, or maybe they would give us a brand new sculpt. But that could be an opportunity. Put a wizard in the wizard box. Makes sense, right? Maybe.
Yeah, but then they're going to call it like, it's a wizard expansion. They
Well, but
don't
I mean,
want that,
like
right?
we called Rise of the Dreadmoon the Night expansion until we realized actually there isn't much to do with knights at all other than a certain character at the end. So
That, that one was the rogue expansion.
yeah, yeah.
They should. I believe they should have put the
Well,
rogue in that
uh,
expansion. It really fit
the
all the
rogue,
story and everything.
yeah. Well, and the rogue is getting harder to find, especially in North America. So I believe Patrick when he says if they're not going to renew it with another print run when it sells out, they're just going to fold it into the next box wherever they can. So we might see a rogue inside Wizards Morcar or COPD or something.
The crypt, yeah, it'd fit in the crypt maybe. Get a rogue in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, he's sitting at the table in the tavern waiting for you. It's like,
Yeah.
what took you guys so long? I'm sitting here like playing darts for hours. I'm bored.
With the hood,
Getting another adventure.
and a very long pipe.
Yep, yep. He's been sitting there watching you. He's been one of them rangers. Goes by the name of Strider.
Ooh.
It's copyright infringement. Yeah. Tolkien estate comes bashing down Hasbro's door. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you can imagine any scenario. Yeah, I mean, the tavern is a perfect place to run into different characters, recruit new people. So it'd be a perfect story beat for that if you want to. It's kind of like meeting the monk in the arena. I mean, you don't have to, but you could. It'd be a great thing. It'd be a cool idea. All right, and then the last, there was one more topic I forgot. See, I need StrangeBus here because he's so much more organized than I am. But we were having this discussion, and we kind of took it farther than anybody had said anything. So this is not confirmed, but we were thinking, what if dealing with, because people were worried about supply chains and taxes and all this stuff. It's like not getting political, not economists. Okay, I get it. But what if they released a digital supplement to HeroQuest? A new way to play. You could call it advanced, not advanced HeroQuest, but I mean something else. Like it would just be like a compendium of rules, and it could have Doug's ideas, his leveling system, his bestiary. It could be just a file that you download, and you could apply it to anything. Like you could retroactively play the game system with some new stuff he put in. Would that make them any money? No, but it would be like the digital quests. It would serve that same function of hyping people up, going, "Oh, well, I was on the fence about buying it, but now that I know that there's these cool like supplemental rules I can use, maybe I will check it out. Maybe I will buy it, and I'll tell all my friends to get it." Or if it wasn't digital, they could release it as a book, like a supplement book. Like you don't have to ship that out. You could print that domestically. You could save money that way. And yes, it would still require someone to buy the game system or First Light or whatever, but you could have those rules in there. You could have some ideas. You could put punch out tiles in there too. You could have standees inside a book, right? So there could be a lot of ways you could do that. I mean, I would definitely buy like a HeroQuest history book, like a making of, you know, you'd have like the draft notes, you'd have the story of how the game was made, um, discarded ideas, interviews, artwork. That would be super awesome. But I also realized that the general public probably would just want something that was more practical that they could play. So, what would you guys think about that kind of idea? Would that be something you'd be interested in? Do you think we should petition Doug to
It,
pass it along?
Like a coffee
it
table
could,
book?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
or a pay add-on for the app.
Ooh. I mean, part of me doesn't want that, but part of me is like, that would be kind of a really cool idea.
Hmm.
As long as I didn't get too greedy with it. But yeah, because you get it for free and it's
You
ad
know that they
free.
want to go digital.
Yeah, they want to monetize it all. But yeah, it could be like a deluxe version that has other options. You could remix the quests. It could, I don't know, give you other
Yeah.
things.
Let's not give ideas. Let's not talk
Stop.
about it.
Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Hasbro, we know that it's like the hand is reaching for the money. It's like stop. You can treat your fans and your customers right and make a healthy profit at the same time. It's possible.
A-
You don't have to be
a-
squeezing every last dime out of people.
Anyway, what I think dog the dog does um, Doug Hopkins said about the bestiary. He kind of meant like he want to create more monster possible. So at the end, it's up to us to a compendium of the stuff at the end of the book or at the beginning and put it all together and create our. But he's spreading all this idea in all the expansions. So you have new monsters, you have
Hmm.
new optional rules and everything. And at the end is there's a little bit of in every expansion.
Hmm.
Okay, but if you put them all together, it's actually an advanced way to play because already it's different from the standard way. You add the alchemy, you add the change of the rounds. Okay,
Hmm. The
you add
arena.
death.
Yeah.
The death is different. They're all extra stuff. They are not in
Yeah. You could have
in the basic pack.
like a compendium of rules.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
now. A couple of fans have done this, like they've done like an omnibus, like take all the quests and just print them all in one big book. That seems kind of redundant. I mean, it's a cool idea
Mm.
for a fan to do, but why would like a customer buy that? Like, okay, I'll just buy the expansions that I want. Why would I buy a giant book where I don't have all the assets to play these anyway, and I just look at them and I mean, I guess they look cool, but it's not
Rather have the lore or something.
yeah, but I guess there's a couple things. Yeah, you could have a bestiary in the sense that yeah, you clip that section that explains the monsters out of each expansion, and you put it all into one big book. So it's like, okay, here's all the monsters that you could use in
Yeah,
HeroQuest.
yeah, but what I believe is maybe I didn't explain myself. That
Or
that
new
is
ideas?
up to us to that.
Oh, it's up to us.
No, that is up to us to put them all together. But they are all the ideas are spread all over the expansions.
Hmm.
Do you play? Do you play? Uh, how is it called? The Crypt of the Perpetual Darkness with mercenaries. Well, they're not in the box,
Right.
but they're an extra in another. So you're already using extra rules
Hmm.
on another quest
You
taken
could,
from another expansion.
right. You could use
Yeah,
alchemy and Keller
um,
Keep if you wanted
some
to.
people do that. Some other people doesn't like to do that.
Yeah. I put some werewolves
Exactly.
in Rise of the Dreadmoon. I mean, they weren't there originally, but it seemed to fit. It was
But
fun.
they're all optionals.
Yeah.
It's like the slider. It's like the slider in the app. Do I want the monster with an extra body point? Do I want a monster with an extra attack? And do I want the monster? So
Double wandering
there are
monster.
options that you can add
You know,
double, triple. Okay,
yeah.
you can do a compendium with this stuff. What I mean,
Hmm.
not them, us players put together
Yeah.
all the official stuff and create our like advanced guide.
So you don't think he was teasing us with a product? He was more just saying, "Hey, why don't you just do it?
Yeah,
You want to
I'm going to
anyway."
spread all the stuff in the next expansions.
Yeah.
You're going to see the leveling system in this expansion. You're going to see the alchemy. We already saw it. You're going to see what else to talk about. Well, the monster. We spread in the monster. You got every expansion got new monsters, at least the big boxes.
Hmm.
So at the end, you're going to have all these extras. Just they are spread out all
Spread
over
out. Yeah.
the expansions.
Well, and it's a good marketing strategy too because you want if you want it all, you have to buy it all, or at
You
least
need everything.
yeah. Yeah, oh, I mean you can homebrew it too. You can wait till the digital stuff comes out and then just like write it down, and you can use proxy figures. But yeah, it's most people are just gonna say, well, I'll just wait until I see something cool and then I'll buy it when it goes on sale, and then I'll use it. Well, we do see that a lot with new people coming in. So we created a new section in the Discord for like newbie questions, but you see it on other Discords as well, where people say, "Oh man, I just got into HeroQuest," and I'm like, I'm trying to buy all the expansions, and I'm just like, I want to say, no, no, don't do that. Like, first, see if you like the game, then buy the expansions, and then take Doug's advice. Just buy the ones that you want to play. But I know it's some games are like that, where it's like you could throw all the expansions into one box and play them all at the same time, but the quests and HeroQuests were not really designed that way. Like they're designed just to have the game system alone or the game system plus that one expansion. Yes, there's a little bit of overlap. So like you get jungles and you get ogres. You put those two together, okay, now you've got more of a certain figure. So I put them together, I have more skeleton archers than I had before. Okay, great. So now I can field those a little easier because there's more of those. But um, I mean, yeah, would you play Mercenaries and Crypt of Perpetual Darkness? That's a perfect example. Like it would throw off the balance of the quest. So you'd probably want to modify the quest then to compensate for that change.
But if you use with all the extra rules, you're allowed to buy mercenaries every time. It's up to Zargon, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I'm
it's
just
like
thinking, would it be
yeah,
wise for a first-time player to take on that extra burden of trying to manage all these different rule systems that he's never used before, all at once in one area? I mean, some of it just wouldn't
there
be.
are, there are
I mean, if you want to,
mercenaries
go
are
for
a
it.
little bit of a waste in those little quests anyway.
Yeah, like I'm gonna
So
I'm gonna hire an ogre mercenary. I'm gonna get
Zargon is
four
happy.
get the Cadre of the Raven's Veil with me, and I'm gonna have like all 12 mercenaries to take out Virag, and I'm gonna do alchemy while I'm there,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna fight in the arena.
Oh, yeah, to
Get
manage
some
your
bone
money.
weapons.
The monies are not infinite.
Well, that's
So
true.
if you
That's
use
true.
all your money in an easy quest, then you don't have it for the difficult one.
You need the explorer. You need 2 explorers in your party to get the extra gold. Yeah, but even then, it's not. Yeah, it's not enough. Yeah, fair point. Well, guys, I'm sure there's 1 or 2 things we're forgetting, but we'll just have to save them for a future rant cast. Anything?
Rant.
Yeah, we all gotta say rant cast. Rant cast.
Oh, yeah.
There we go. That's the spirit. Does anybody want to plug anything at the end? Anything we got?
Check out the HeroQuest fans Discord.
Oh yeah, twitch.tv/HeroQuest fans. XSC3 home of HeroQuest fans on YouTube. The Rantcast podcast on Spotify. The StrangeBus on Twitch. The StrangeBus on YouTube. And check out all our friends' stuff. So elviler.com, WarBuilder22J, Bourbon and Board Games, AshQuest, Always Bored, Never Boring. A lot of friends of the stream out there. People I'd like to interact with that I haven't really done much with. Sir Death Vids on YouTube. Shout out to all those guys. Dead Gamer gave us a lot of really good spoilers early on. Haven't seen him in a while. Hope he's doing well. Anyway, we'll have more to talk about as things go on. I think this weekend we should be up for the regular streams on HeroQuest fans. The week after that, I may be doing some other stuff, so I may be gone. StrangeBus will be coming back at some point, but I just know that the month of March was going to be really busy for him, so he sends his regrets, but we'll do what we can. So thanks for joining us on the Rantcast. We'll have to talk some Star Wars when he gets back. So thanks, everybody. Should we close out with some more AI music, or are we sick of it already? Yeah, much more. Shout out to Suno.com. The reason we got into this is because of some of the issues with Twitch and YouTube with their flagging. So I don't know. Hopefully we don't get muted. So all right. Well, we'll just close out with some music then, and then we'll see if there's anybody up we can raid. If not, we'll catch you next time. And the replays will be going up when they go up.
Welcome to the RantCastPodcast. Come join the rage, ripping your face off like Nicolas Cage. Change out, it's here, no doubt about it. Time to get mad and raise the room around it. Whoa, down. Welcome to the RantCastPodcast. We are raging all the time. We won't stop till you've heard us this time. With the StrangeBus and Kurgan. Watch out, it's StrangeBus, giving you the news, telling you those companies about to screw you. Oh, hey, it's Kurgan, giving you a quest, telling you to pick up hasbro's mess. Welcome to the RantCastPodcast. We are raging all the time. We won't stop till you've heard us this time. With the Watch out for